what's the most important storyline for this Titans-Eagles matchup? I think if we're being honest, the biggest, most tabloid-driven storyline is obviously A.J. Brown, right? But when it comes down to who is going to win or lose this game, what is the most important storyline?
What Jalen Hurts can do. He can kill you in the pocket, especially with the amount of weapons that he has offensively, but we've seen his legs on display. He's probably a top 5 fastest quarterback in the NFL just based off of sprint speed. That is what I'm worried about, Austin, with this game is like the Titans defense has made their bread and butter getting off the field on third down and really bending but not breaking because they've been so good on third down, where if they beat you on the first couple plays, it's hard to go anywhere. Jalen Hurts is the type of guy I feel like could give them fits with just trying to get him off the field with his ability to extend the play.
Sure. So Jesse says on Facebook, I'm sorry, but Hurts isn't a quality QB. Look at Kyler Murray last year and then this year. Just got to be the ones to figure it out. Look, I'm as fascinated as everybody to figure out why Jalen Hurts has taken a massive step forward from a year ago to this year, right? I remember watching that playoff game in Tampa last season, I believe it was, when Hurts was just throwing bad picks and just inaccurate and losing to the Bucs in Tampa in a playoff spot. And then now he's a legitimate MVP candidate because the Eagles are great. The offense is great. He's got almost 600 rushing yards. He's throwing for 2,500 yards. They're throwing touchdowns. They're scoring a bunch of points. He's not turning the ball over. He is getting sacked, though. He's been sacked 28 times, which is not a ton, but it's somewhat significant. And so I'm with you, Sam. I think this is fascinating to me, too, because the Titans lost the game to the Chiefs because they lost contain on Patrick Mahomes. They did everything right up until the last, 2 drives the Chiefs had. And I think you nailed it, that Mahomes is scrambling to throw, but Mahomes also has the experience now as he's getting into his veteran years that he knows when to pick his spots. Joe Burrow knows when to pick his spots, and he's very athletic and can pick those up, where Jalen Hurts, it's such a big part of the Eagles offense is for him to run the ball, designed runs, whether it's the student body right, student body left that you saw back in middle school football. The Eagles are doing that because they have a capable quarterback who can squat 600 pounds and can take the beating and can be physical. And they have the physical ability of offensive line and tight ends that can do this well. So Danico Autry's not going to play this week. I think that's pretty safe to say.
Yep.
Sam?
Yeah, very safe to say. I mean, no Jeffrey Simmons at practice yesterday. I think Jeffrey Simmons plays, that should happen. But yeah, safe to say Danico Autry probably won't be out there. So you're once again dealing without him and having to piece together. I mean, we know how much they missed him against Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was so comfortable in the pocket on Sunday. It felt like he was never pressured. And I kept sitting there to myself, well, when are they going to make this guy have to move around and be uncomfortable back there? And you have to do that to Jalen Hurts. The other thing, Austin, those run plays can be explosive plays for them. That's the difference is Jalen Hurts knows how to run to throw as well and extend a play and then throw it downfield, but he can pick up 40 yards with his legs. Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, they don't really do that anymore. But that is something that the young athletic legs of Jalen Hurts bring to the table that make this team really, really dangerous.
Yeah, Billy says hit Hurts hard and he won't run as much. I don't think you've been watching Jalen Hurts. I don't think Jalen Hurts is a guy that gets, shies away from contact at all. DeMario says Hurts has improved his read progressions and not rushing or panicking, taking his eyes from field to run. He's keeping his eyes up on the wide receivers, and play calls are assisting in his huge growth. I think that's a really good comment there from DeMario. So, I think, there's also the fact of, and Dave McGinnis talks about this all the time, is that when you're rushing a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, like Mahomes, like Burrow, like some of these other guys that Titans have played, Josh Allen's included in this, you have to be so disciplined in your rush lanes. You are trying to corral the quarterback. You're not trying to just knock their heads off. So if you get undisciplined in some spots, the quarterback's legs will hurt you. And first example that pops into my mind was Patrick Mahomes' rushing touchdown when Rashad Weaver screamed around the wide side. Mahomes steps up and there's an alley and he goes. It's almost like, do you just try to methodically pass rush Hurts and just like kind of close in on him and maybe keep him inside the pocket? Try to trust as much as you possibly can your back seven, because the Titans rush 4 most of the time. Trust your back 7 to cover for long enough and just keep Hurts inside. Do not let him step up. Make him go backwards. And that's a lot easier said than done. And if you don't have Danico, that's even harder. Jeff Simmons, I feel good about, is going to play. Can he still be explosive with the ankle? I think, your other guys like Mario Edwards and Walker and some of these other Tier Tart, I think those guys can do well with that pocket push and try to catch them in a net rather than like spear them.
Right. Yeah. You get out of your lane. These quarterbacks are good enough to recognize it, take your lane and hurt you with it. It is, that's the name of the game. The good news is I don't think Jalen Hurts is the passer that Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, or Joe Burrow is yet. So if there was ever a guy to kind of just like give a pocket to and try and close in on him and contain him and make him beat you with the air and trust your back 7, Jalen Hurts isn't a bad option.